Okay, so as always, listen to your body. Only do what's comfortable for you. If we come into a pose that doesn't feel right in your body, please feel free to come into any kind of resting posture and then join us again whenever you are ready. Okay, so let's start lying down or seated, any comfortable position for you. I know I'm not in the screen, but I'm here. Kind of changed my mind about what we're going to do for class today. So to begin, taking a moment to check in and notice what's going on in your body. So a couple of weeks ago, I mentioned that sometimes what we do is we automatically find what's not good in the body. See if you can find what feels good today. Are there any parts of your body that are feeling even neutral? And then, yes, there are parts of the body that maybe are calling out for your attention. We're not ignoring them. Notice them, acknowledge them, and maybe soften around them. And then noticing what's going on in your mind this morning. And there is no judgment, right? We don't come here to judge, just notice. So in yoga, we have the kleshas, which are those parts of our mind that cause us, they are the afflictions of the mind. And one of them is ego. So this happens when you identify with the parts of yourself that change. Everything from your mind to your body, your appearance or job title, instead of with the quiet places within you that does not change. This is when you mistakenly believe on some level that how you look or feel or what you do for a living has something to do with who you are, and that these things define you, instead of recognizing that your true self, who you are at your core, is unchanging. So as we go through our class today, watch where the ego shows up. What happens on the mat often reveals what happens off the mat. Listen for the word I. When does it show up and get in the way? Is there any point at which you make a story? I can do this. I can't do this. I'm not good enough. And then release the story and just be present with what's going on in your body, your mind, and your heart. Releasing that story is getting to the core of who you are. All right, making some small movements here in fingers and toes. Rolling around wrists and ankles. All right, so if you are sitting down, coming down onto your back. All right, and so from the back here, we're gonna reach the legs out long. Reach the arms up back behind you, fingernails to the earth. We're going to take a line extended mountain. So stretching everything nice and long, stretch the legs away, stretch the arms away, send the backs of the thighs down towards the earth. And then exhale, sigh it out and release. Soften. We're going to do that 2 more times. So reach nice and long. Big stretch here. Sigh it out and soften. Last one, big reach. Sigh it out and release. Great. So bringing your arms down by your sides, feet to the earth, knees are bent. Repositioning your back flat on the earth. All right, and from here, let's bring the arms up towards the sky. And then crossing the arms, grabbing a hold of opposite elbows and creating like a window across your chest. Whenever you're ready, on your exhale, allowing your arms to drop over towards one side of your body. Inhale, arms come to center, and exhale, arms to the other side. So just feel what's going on in your shoulders. Another story we make up sometimes during our practices. I hate this pose. I love this pose. Release the stories. All right, let's go one more time in each direction. And then releasing the arms down by your sides and just notice your shoulders. Notice any sensations you feel in your arms. And then we're going to return to that pose. Arms reach up towards the sky, grabbing a hold of opposite elbows. And then notice what you do automatically and find the opposite cross. So whichever arm is in front becomes the one that's behind. And then same thing as before, exhale, arms come over to one side, inhale to center, and exhale over. All right, so request for some uplifting. Here is some self-love cards as you move through this. Self-love affirmations. I choose my own way forward. I am a guiding light of unconditional love. I choose my own way forward. I am a guiding light of unconditional love. All right, gently bringing the arms back to center, release the arms down by your sides. And again, notice what you feel in your body. Then we're going to find some moving bridges. Feet are hip distance apart, close to your sits bones. And whenever you're ready, pushing your feet into the earth, lift the hips, squeeze the inner thighs, squeeze the glutes, and then exhale to lower. And take your time, moving with your own breath. Inhale, lift, and exhale to lower. Perhaps you bring the arms into this movement. So as your hips come up, arms reach up and back behind you, fingernails towards the earth. Exhale, hips come down, arms come down by your side. Just a gentle warm up here for the back, maybe a little bit for the thighs, the shoulders. All right, let's go one more time. And then once the arms and the hips come down to the earth, just wait for a moment before making any kind of movements. Allow the back to settle. And then maybe bringing the feet wide on the mat and windshield wipering the knees from side to side. All right, so let's come into a wind release pose. So walking the feet back towards each other, hugging the right knee in towards the chest, activating your right foot. So slightly curl back the toes. And then perhaps extending that left leg long if it feels good. Softening the shoulders, softening the jaw. Okay, so you are going to decide what you need in your body today. If you need a gentler practice, then maybe you're going to stay here. If you want to maybe warm up the core a little bit, warm up the body a little bit more, then perhaps with the left leg, you draw the left leg up just an inch or two off the earth. Continue hugging the right knee in. Draw the belly button in towards the spine and then lift the head and the shoulders up off the earth. So trying not to crunch in the chin, maybe imagine a grapefruit underneath your chin. All right, and then we're gonna switch. So switch legs if you're up in this kind of modified crunch. See if you can do it without bringing the legs to the earth, without bringing the shoulders to the earth. Let's soften the shoulders. Switch back over towards the right leg. Again, this could be just lying on the earth with a stretch here. And then one last time, switch to the left side. Saying good morning to the core. All right, releasing the feet down towards the earth, knees are bent, release the shoulders. Okay, so from here, let's cross the right foot, the right ankle, excuse me, over the left thigh, activating the right foot. All right, so I'm gonna give you a choice again. Perhaps you hug the legs in towards you, grab a hold of the back of the left thigh. Or maybe you extend, grab a hold of the back of the thigh, extend the left foot up towards the sky. And then release that stretch. And then slowly, slowly lower the legs, just so that that left foot is hugging, or nope, just so the left foot is just hovering off the earth. And then slowly bring the leg back up. So maybe you're in a stretch, or maybe you're in a core activation here. Okay. So you decide where you need to be. Couple more rounds of breath. All right, if you're doing the leg lifts, bring that left leg back up towards the sky. Grab a hold of the left thigh. Allow that left knee to drop, or left foot to drop, and we'll hang out in the stretch here for a few more rounds of breath, all of us together. And then gently allowing that left foot to come back down towards the earth. And we'll just switch to the other side. Left ankle across the right thigh, activating the left foot. Drawing the legs in closer towards you. Maybe you find that stretch. Or maybe you turn on the core, bringing the right foot up towards the sky. Release the legs and slowly find those leg lifts. So take your time if you're working on your core right now. If you're in the stretch, soften the shoulders, soften the jaw. So sometimes when we work on our core, we bring a little bit of heat into the body, wake the body up a little bit of energy moving. But sometimes we need to move a little slower into our practice, which is totally okay. Right, if you're doing the leg lifts, find one more. And then we're gonna find that stretch here, grabbing a hold of the right thigh somewhere. All right, finding one more round of breath. And then releasing the feet down towards the earth, knees are bent. Repositioning your back flat on the earth. And then perhaps giving the knees a hug in towards your chest. Find movements that feel good for you. Maybe it's rocking side to side. Maybe it's circles in the knees. And then we're going to make our way up to seated, but I'm going to give you the choice. You can roll over to come up to seated, or maybe you find a rocking motion here a few times to make your way all the way up. All right, once you make your way up to seated, any comfortable seated position here. Okay, and then let's find some seated cat-cow. So rounding the spine, tucking the chin, tucking the tailbone. And then moving in the opposite direction, shoulders roll back and down the spine. Imagine a string drawing the heart up towards the sky. Moving at your own pace. Our next affirmation: I sing the beautiful song of my heart, clear and loud for all to hear. I sing the beautiful song of my heart, clear and loud for all to hear. All right, let's come back to a straight spine. Crown of the head reaches up towards the sky. And then we'll bring the right hands down towards the earth. Left arm reaches up towards the sky. Soften the left shoulder down. And then slowly walking that right hand over towards the right side. Only go as far as you feel comfortable. And rooting the left sits bone down towards the earth. Taking deep inhales and long, slow exhales. Inhale, coming back to center. Exhale, left hand to the earth, right arm reaches up and reaching over. Rooting the right sits bone down towards the earth. Find length here along the right side of your body. On your next inhale, coming up to center, we're going to find a bit of a twist. So left hand comes to the right knee or thigh. Right hand comes behind you. Inhale to lengthen the spine and exhale to turn. Inhaling to lengthen and exhaling to come back to center. And then we'll make our way over to the other side. Right hand to left knee or thigh, left hand behind you. Inhale, lengthen, exhale to turn. Inhale to lengthen the spine and exhale to come back to center. Okay, so just a little warm up for the shoulders. Inhale, allowing the shoulders to come up towards the ears, and exhale, shoulders roll back and down the spine. Moving here with your own breath. One more time. And then making your way into your tabletop pose. Wrists are underneath the shoulders, knees are underneath the hips. Feel free to grab a blanket or something to place underneath your knees if you need a little extra support. Okay, so tabletop, gripping the fingers into the earth, cupping the hands, protecting the wrists. Okay, and then we're going to find just a little bit of movement here to kind of warm up the wrists. So maybe you make some circles here as you come forward, come back around. All right, so as you come forward, you may feel a little stretch along the backs of the wrists. Maybe you make circles, or it's just whatever movements feel right for you here. Continue gripping the fingers into the earth. All right, and then gently coming back to a tabletop pose. And then we're going to find the opposite flip for one hand. We'll just do one hand at a time. So you're going to place the top of the left hand on the earth, fingers pointing towards the knees. Okay, and then it's up to you here how far you go. Maybe you start to slowly sit the hips back. Maybe this is enough of a stretch, just kind of hanging out here in the table. So, or you move kind of in and out. All right, and then we'll place that left hand back on the earth, turning the right hand so that the top of the hand is on the earth, fingers towards the thighs. And then same thing, slowly move in and out of the stretch, or maybe you just kind of hold the stretch somewhere. All right, placing the right hand back on the earth, find your tabletop pose. And then let's come into a low lunge, sending the right foot forward between the thighs. We're going to squeeze the inner thighs towards center, allow the arms to reach up towards the sky. Shoulders roll back and down the spine. And then we're going to find a little bit of movement here in this shape. So you're going to move just as much as it feels good. So allowing the arms to come out by your sides, find a slight tuck of your tailbone, and then imagine a string drawing the heart up towards the sky. And then exhale, come back to center, but reach the arms forward. Draw the belly button in as you reach towards the front of your mat. Inhale, come back, open the heart up towards the sky, slight tuck of the tailbone. Exhale, reach forward. So you're only going to reach as far as you feel comfortable. Maybe just the arms come out. Maybe you reach nice and far. Just make sure that right knee isn't going past the toes. We'll do that a couple more times. Inhale to open the heart up. Exhale to reach. One more time. Inhale to open. Exhale to reach. Inhale, bringing the arms back up towards the sky. Exhale, hands come down to the earth, and we're going to switch over to the other side, coming into tabletop, and then left leg steps through. All right, so check your knee, make sure it's over the ankle, in line with the second or third toe. Squeeze the inner thighs to rise. Softening the shoulders. All right, same thing as before. Send the tailbone down, open the arms, allow the heart to open wide. And then exhale, or however it feels comfortable for breath. I forget what we're doing. Reach forward. Just move with your own breath, whatever feels good. If you're reaching far, be sure to pull the belly button in towards the spine. Come forward with a straight back if you can. Try not to collapse in on the left leg. All right, let's do one more. And then inhale, arms reach back up towards the sky. And then gently bringing the hands towards the earth, we'll come back into our tabletop pose. From our tabletop pose, we're going to shift our weight forward, coming into a modified plank. Tuck the elbows in, grip the fingers, slowly lower down towards the earth. Shoulders roll back and down the spine. Tops of the feet come down towards the earth. Gently lift the heart only as far as it feels comfortable. Looking down at the earth. Exhale to lower. And then it's up to you, either tabletop or reverse push-up, downward dog, or maybe child's pose instead of downward dog. All right, and then making your way towards the front of your mat into a forward fold. So feet are hip distance apart. As much of a bend in your knees as you need, so there's no discomfort in the backs of the thighs. Allowing the upper body to dangle. Maybe you sway from side to side. All right, let's come into a halfway lift. Hands are coming to shins or thighs. Draw the belly button in. Find equal weight in the four corners of your feet. Crown of your head reaches forward. So we're using our core here to hold us up. You can even try maybe to take your hands up off your shins or thighs. See if you can stay up. Maybe arms come back behind you or they reach forward for a little bit more effort. Let's release the hands back down towards the thighs if they aren't already there, or shins. And then with a flat back, we'll come all the way up to standing mountain pose. Okay, we're going to come into a balance here. So first we find our mountain pose, equal weight in the four corners of the feet, squeeze the inner thighs, shoulders roll back and down the spine, crown of the head reaches high. So we're going to shift our weight into our left foot, but see if when you do that, find a micro bend in the knee, but try not to sink the left hip out towards the side. Maybe I'll do this. So we want to kind of activate the outer thigh. So we're activating the whole thigh. We're activating the outer hip kind of area. So nice and active in that leg. And so shifting your weight over to that left leg. And then bringing the right foot up, knee is bent. Woo! So maybe you stay here. Or maybe you bring the arms out towards the sides. And then turning towards the right side. Keep sending that right knee forward. Inhale, come back to center. Reaching the arms up towards the sky. And then we're going to shift our weight forward. Send the right foot back long behind you, warrior three. Draw the belly button in. So what's going on in your mind? I love this. I hate this. I can do this. I can't do this. Take the story out. And just be present with what you feel in the body. One more round of breath. And then slowly stepping that right foot back. Let's come into warrior one. Right foot points up towards the top right corner of the mat. Wide stance here. Bending into that left knee over the ankle. Allowing the shoulders, or no, arms to reach up towards the sky. So slight tuck with the tailbone. All right, and then we're going to find our twist on the other side. So arms come out towards the sides, and then you're going to turn towards the left side. Inhale, reach the arms back up towards the sky. Exhale, hands come down towards the earth. We're going to step back into a plank pose, or your plank should be knees to the earth. Shifting the weight forward, come all the way down. And then baby cobra, shoulders roll back and down the spine, tops of the feet to the earth, lift the heart. Exhale to lower. So reverse push-up or tabletop. Downward dog. And then making your way towards the front of your mat into a forward fold. Let's find that halfway lift once again. So using your core to hold your back up. Maybe you release your hands from your shins or thighs. Hands could maybe come back behind you or towards the front of your mat. So we use our core so that we're not putting a lot of pressure into our back. All right, bringing the hands to your hips. On your inhale, come all the way up to standing. Mountain pose. All right, so we're going to find that standing thing that we did, but on the other side. So we want to activate the inner thighs. So squeezing the inner thighs and then activating that outer right hip, outer right thigh. So squeeze the glute, squeeze the thigh, micro bend in the knee and shifting your way over towards that right foot. Left foot comes up off the earth. Knee is bent. Perhaps the arms reach up towards the sky. Perhaps you bring the arms out towards the sides and turn towards the left side. Keep sending that left knee forward. Inhale, bringing the arms back up. Exhale, shift your weight forward. Hands come behind you. Send the left leg long behind you. Warrior three. Pointing the toes of the left foot down towards the earth. Keep that right outer thigh active, right outer hip. Slowly stepping the left foot back, coming into warrior one, wide stance on your mat. And we'll find that twist on the other side. Arms come out wide and turning towards the right side. So you're only going to turn as far as it feels good. Inhale, arms come back up to center. Exhale, hands come down to the earth. Step back into your plank pose. Shifting the weight forward, come all the way down. All right, shoulders roll back and down the spine. Tuck the elbows, tops of the feet to the earth. Maybe it's a baby cobra, or maybe you come up further, full cobra. Keeping the shoulders away from the ears, keeping the elbows tucked in by the sides. Find your breath. No, connect to your breath. I'm trying to stop saying find your breath because it's not lost. All right, let's lower to the earth. Reverse push-up or tabletop. Downward dog or child's pose. Take a moment here to kind of just check in with the body, check in with the mind. Notice if you can just be present in this moment without any stories. Not allowing the ego to get in the way of your practice. All right, if you're in downward dog, let's lower to tabletop and then back into child's pose. Connecting to the breath. And can you be here fully without crafting the experience through the lens of ego? Can you just notice this moment without labeling it or attaching your ego's opinion to it? All right, gently making your way back into your tabletop pose. Let's step the right foot forward between the hands. Left foot follows, coming into forward fold. On your next inhale, arms come out towards the sides. Reverse swan dive up, extended mountain. Exhale, hands to heart center. All right, so a little flow. finding mountain pose. Inhale, extended mountain. Exhale, flat back, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, sit the hips back, come into chair. Heart shines forward, slight tuck of the tailbone. And exhale, forward fold. Left foot steps back, parallel to the back of the mat, setting up for warrior two. Windmilling the arms up. Bending into the front knee, over the ankle in line with the second or third toe, squaring the hips towards the side of the room. Arms reach long, looking over the front hand. All right, let's turn the front palm up and then reach that right arm up and over towards the upper back, the hand to the back. Left arm reaches up and over for that right elbow. Still standing nice and tall. Maybe you stay here, or maybe moving from the waist, opening the heart up towards the sky, almost as if you were coming into a reverse warrior, still bending into that front knee. Inhale, windmilling the arms back out towards the side. Look over the front hand. Exhale, side angle, right forearm comes to the right thigh. Left arm reaches up towards the sky. Maybe extended side angle arm reaches towards the front of the mat. Trying not to collapse in on that right arm. Perhaps you reach the right arm towards the front of your mat as well. Windmilling the arms back up, warrior two, look over the front hand. Strengthen the arms, strengthen your warrior pose. We're going to find a triangle, straightening the front leg, micro bend in the knee. Hips are square towards the long edge of the mat. Reach that front arm forward. And then hand comes down wherever's comfortable. Thigh, shin, block the earth. Left hand reaches up towards the sky. Roll that left shoulder back and down the spine. Something about triangle that always like adjusts my low back. All right, windmilling the arms back up, bend into the front knee, look over the front hand. And then we're going to straighten that front leg, turn both feet so they're parallel to each other. Hands to the waist, inhale to lengthen the spine. Exhale with a flat back, hinging forward. Hands come wherever's comfortable. Maybe it's hips, thighs, shins, blocks the earth, and soften. Softening the upper body. So if you want to, maybe if it's in your body, clasping your hands behind your low back, shoulders roll back and down the spine. Hands reach up towards the sky. All right, our next affirmation. I accept I cannot save everyone. I choose to help those who are open to assistance. I accept I cannot save everyone. I choose to help those who are open to existence. Nope, to assistance. Assistance, not existence. Oh dear. Okay, let's release the hands. Let's bring them to the hips, find length in the spine, and then come on up. Oh dear. Okay. Find your warrior two towards the front of your mat. Windmilling the hands to frame the front foot. Step back into your plank. Shift the weight forward. Come all the way down. Baby cobra or full cobra. Lowering to the earth, reverse push-up or tabletop. Sorry, let's all come into table, knees to the earth. Step the left foot forward. Right foot follows, forward fold. On your inhale, coming into extended mountain. Exhale, hands come down to heart center. All right, mountain pose. Inhale, extended mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, sit back into your chair. Heart opens up towards the front of the mat. Slight tuck of the tailbone. All right, shift your weight back into your heels a little bit. What's going on with ego? And allow it to go. Maybe you sink a little further. And then exhale, forward fold. Let's take a big step back with the right foot. Foot comes parallel to the back of the mat. Windmill the arms up into warrior two. So arms are nice and long. Reach nice and far. Maybe you check over your back arm. See if it's coming out straight. And then looking over the front arm. So we look to the past and then look to the future. Turning the palm of the left hand up, reaching the left hand up and back towards the upper back, elbow points up towards the sky. Perhaps that right hand comes up and grabs the hold of the left elbow. All right, and then from the waist, opening the heart up towards the sky. Still bending into the front knee. Inhale, come back to warrior two. Exhale, side angle or extended side angle with the hand reaching towards the front of the mat. Bend into the front knee. Maybe you reach that left arm forward. Draw the belly button in. Use the core. Little core work today. Windmilling the arms back to warrior two. Look over the front hand. Straightening the front leg. If you've lost the square of the hips, square them back towards the long edge of the mat. Reach the front hand forward. Find your variation of triangle. So we're gonna imagine a wall behind us. Both hips, shoulders, and head come up against the wall. If you feel like you're looking down at the earth, then maybe slide that left hand up a little bit. So you're not quite as deep into the triangle, and then you try to find that wall behind you. All right, bend into the front knee, windmill back up to warrior two. We're gonna turn our feet once again so that they are going parallel. All right, hands to the hips, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, hinge forward, fold. Our next affirmation, I accept my vulnerability. It strengthens my love of self. I accept my vulnerability. It strengthens my love of self. All right, let's bring the hands to the thigh or hips, sorry. And come on up with a flat back. Find your warrior two once again towards the front of the mat. Windmilling the hands to frame the front foot. Step back into your plank pose. Shift your weight forward, come all the way down. So maybe it's baby cobra or full cobra. Maybe it's Sphinx pose. Find your pose that feels right in your body. No ego. We don't have to do everything, right? And then exhale to lower. Okay, so from here, we're going to find a locust pose. In our locust pose, we bring our hands back by our sides, palms face down, shoulders roll back and down the spine. Reaching the legs long, tops of the feet come down to the earth. Look down at the earth, so you have a straight line in the neck. And then just go as far as it feels good in your body. So perhaps you just lift the heart up off the earth. Maybe you lift the arms, squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other. If it's in your body, you may even clasp your hands. Send the hands away from you. Squeeze the inner thighs, point the toes, lift the feet, maybe. Continue looking down at the earth. Taking deep inhales, long, slow exhales. All right, I'm gonna give you an option. Maybe you stay here. Or maybe you reach the arms forward so they come by your ears. Continue squeezing the inner thighs, squeeze the glutes, protect the low back. One more round of breath. Whew, exhale, lower. All right, bend the knees and windshield wiper the feet from side to side. Releasing the feet down towards the earth. Let's make our way into a tabletop pose. From tabletop, find some movements here that feels right for you in your body. C shape, figure eight, cat cow, in and out of child's pose. Okay, and then we're going to find a little bit of a neck, shoulder stretch. So from tabletop, reaching the right hand up towards the sky. Okay, so maybe this is where you stay. Maybe your hand comes down to your right hip, or if you can, reach it towards the low back or towards the left hip, wrapping it around. Keep the heart open towards the side of the mat. And if it feels good, dropping the left ear down towards the left shoulder. Slowly bringing the head back to center. Reaching the right arm back up towards the sky. And placing the right hand on the earth. Other side, left hand reaches high. Maybe you stay here. Or that left hand comes down wherever's comfortable. Keeping a micro bend in the right elbow. And then perhaps the right ear comes towards the right shoulder. Gently bringing the head back to center. Releasing the left hand down towards the earth, tabletop pose. How are we doing for time? Let's come to seated. All right, so if it's comfortable for you, easy seated pose. If it's not comfortable for you, then maybe feet come into butterfly. So feet together, knees apart. All right, let's find a little bit here for the shoulders. So we will bring the shoulders out, arms out in front. You're going to bring the hands together, bend the elbows, and then see if you can bring the elbows towards each other. Send the hands away from the face. So elbows may not come all the way, but you're kind of trying as much as you can. So soften the shoulders, and then maybe the elbows come to about shoulder height. Send the hands away from the face a little further. Then releasing the hands down by your sides. Okay, we're going to bring our left hand behind us. Right hand reaches back for that left wrist. If this doesn't feel good for you, then just leave the left hand down by your side, okay? So then that right hand, if the hands are behind you, pulling the right wrist over towards the left side of your body, and then allowing your right ear to drop over towards the right shoulder. If the left hand is out towards the side instead, activate that hand, pull the palm out, push the palm out, allow the shoulder, ear to drop towards the shoulder. Uh-oh. Inhale, allowing the head to come back to center and release here. Perhaps you find some shoulder rolls up, back, and down. All right, and before we come over to the other side, let's bring the arms out towards the sides. Shoulders roll back and down the spine. Allowing the heart to draw up towards the sky. Heart draws up towards the sky like there's a string pulling it up. So we're just moving from the upper back. Reach the arms back as far as it feels comfortable. And then exhale, round the spine, give yourself a hug. Reach around as far as it feels good. Inhale to open. Heart reaches high. Exhale, round, maybe opposite arm comes on top. Let's do two more. Inhale, open. Exhale to hug. Switch the cross of your arms. Inhale, open. Exhale to hug. Inhale, come back to center. Hands down by your sides. And then reaching that right hand back behind you, or right arm comes out to the side. Left hand finds the right wrist, gently pulling the hand over towards the left side. And then we're going to allow the left ear to drop towards the left shoulder. On your next inhale, bringing the head back up to center. Release the shoulders, give the shoulders a few rolls here. Okay, and then we're going to come into a seated forward fold. So bringing the legs out long, toes point up towards the sky, activate the feet. Find your sits bones here, comfortable place to sit. So know that you can always find something to come underneath the knees if it feels like it's too much pressure here in the low back or the backs of the thighs. So it could be a rolled blanket, maybe blocks, could also be your fist to come underneath the knees. You don't need to have it, but it feels good with it. Okay, so we sit up nice and tall. So our aim is for our hearts to come towards the toes, to reach to the toes, rather than the knee to come down. Okay, so we will bring the hands by our sides. Inhale to lengthen the spine. Hinging from the hips, exhale, send the heart towards the toes. Push the backs of the heels down towards the earth. Maybe you walk the hands forward. Reach a little further. So again, it's heart towards the toes, rather than trying to get the nose towards the knees. So this way we have more lengthening, more of a stretch in the back and the backs of the thighs, rather than really stretching out that low back. We do enough of that already. Keeping the feet active. Slowly walking yourself back up to seated. All right, if you have something underneath the knees, remove it. We're going to bring the hands back behind us. Feet come to the earth about mat distance apart, and then windshield wiper the knees from side to side. All right, ready? Walk the feet towards each other. And then we're going to do a bit of a shoulder stretch here. So it's going to be entirely up to you how far you go. Maybe you start to walk the hands back a little further. Shoulders roll back and down the spine. Try not to collapse in on the shoulders. We want to maybe kind of push into the hands to lift the heart. If it's in your body, maybe you start to walk your hips down towards your heels. All right, slowly start walking the hands back up. And then we're going to come down to our backs, but see if you can go nice and slow, 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 slow. Maybe the arms are out by your legs. Take your time. Use the core and slowly come down. All right, feet to the earth. Repositioning the back flat on the earth. We're going to find a bridge pose. So pushing your feet into the earth, lift the hips, squeeze the inner thighs, squeeze the glutes. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you grab a hold of the outer edges of the mat, pull the mat almost as if you're ripping it in half, lift the hips. Or maybe you clasp the hands underneath your body, roll the shoulders under, send the hips up even higher. So we're going to imagine just driving the feet into the earth. That's how we'll lift the hips. All right, what's going on with the ego? Last time here, we can allow it to go. I guess not really last time. We'll allow the ego to go. Can't do this. I don't like this. When is she going to let us out of this pose? And just notice what you feel in the body. Connect to your breath. And then slowly release here, untucking the shoulders if they're under you, slowly bringing the back down towards the earth. Allow the back to soften here. Taking deep inhales in through the nose into the diaphragm. And long, slow exhales out. Okay, let's bring the feet wide on the mat. Windshield wiper the knees from side to side. Then whenever you are ready, finding Shavasana or any final resting shape here on the earth. And once you find a comfortable place, connecting to your breath, taking deep inhales and long, slow exhales. And then feel yourself sinking, settling, releasing any tension in your jaw, around your eyes. Softening the hips down towards the earth. Freeing yourself from ego happens in moments. It happens here as you let go and make room only for release and sensation, not judgment or attachment. Settle into ego-less rest here. And allow the memory of this to move with you off your mat so that you may find it again. It is 11:11 if you wish to make a wish. And then bringing your awareness back into your space. Bring your awareness back into your body. Making small movements with fingers and toes. Perhaps you roll around wrists and ankles. Whenever you feel ready, rolling over to one side, whichever side is calling for you. Then gently making your way up to seated, and once you get there, lowering or closing your eyes. Taking deep inhales in through the nose and long, slow exhales out. I invite you to find gratitude in this moment. Gratitude for something or someone in your life. Gratitude for taking the time to show up today and practice. For taking care of your body, your mind, and your heart. And perhaps gratitude for being here another day. I honor this practice of yoga brought to us by the yogis from India and from the other teachers around the world. I honor this virtual space that we are in that has allowed us to come together. And I honor all of you for being here today and for sharing your practice with me and with each other. Thank you for joining me. Have a beautiful weekend.